Hello horse friends, and welcome back to The Imperfect Question. If you're new to our channel, maybe you'd like to think about helping us out by subscribing so you can follow all our adventures with us. Today I'm going to be doing some confidence training with JJ, so we'll be looking at different tasks and also some obstacles to see how she feels about them. Some things she's done before, so I'm not expecting her to be too worried about it, and some things will be new to her. If she does have any confidence issues, we'll look at how to tackle that as we go along. I'm basically just going to expose her to a lot of different situations so I can gauge how confident she is at the moment. So let me give you a little bit of background information about why we're doing this confidence training today. You've all seen my Appaloosa Comanchie on the channel before. So when I first had him, I used natural horsemanship to train him. And we actually used the Parelli program. And they have official auditions, and we took him up to a level 3 audition. If you'd like to see some of his auditions, wait till the end and we'll show you some clips of his auditions to get to level 3. Now, I'm not putting JJ through any auditions at those levels at the moment, but I would be interested to see just how she copes with some of the tasks. And as you've probably heard before, they have the 7 games, and the first one of their 7 games is the friendly game, which is kind of confidence training. So today we're going to be doing some confidence training to see how she does with that, and it will give me an idea of what level she is compared to Comanchie. So JJ is a little bit distracted by eating the grass, but that shouldn't stop us doing anything that we want to do today. So for her first task, I'm just going to use my hands and see if she'll let me touch her all over. Can I touch her face, her ears, her neck, under her chest and her back? Is she happy for me to rub down her legs? Does she look tense? Does she look worried? Can I do her back legs down towards her feet? Can I touch her in the sensitive areas underneath? Can I go do it on the other side? So as you can see, JJ is not really bothered. She's more thinking about the grass, but she's not so distracted that she's just ignoring me. She's aware that I'm here. I had touched down her back leg again on the other side and her tail. So she did very well with that task, but it was quite a simple one that she's obviously been exposed to quite a lot before. I move on with a little bit of difficulty. I'm going to use my rope, and is she happy for the rope to go over her body? So obviously the rope's perhaps a little bit more like something dangerous, like a snake or something. I'm just gently wrapping it around. Try and think of it a bit like a horse's tail. Can it go around her back legs without her worrying? Can it go over her bum without her worrying? Can it go over her middle without her worrying? And obviously I need to be careful not to do it too strongly so that it whips on the other side. Wouldn't be very nice for her. Let's just try it on the other side of her. Good girl, stay there. So can we wrap it around her neck, her front legs, over her body? Good girl. And around her legs. So it's not a very difficult task again, but again, some horses might be worried about that being around their legs particularly, and they might even run off and start moving around. But JJ has had this done before, so again, tick, we're good. So moving up a level, now I'm using a stick with a string attached. So a lot of horses can confuse this for me asking them to lunge as I move it around. So we're going to see how JJ copes with this. Again, she has met this before, but you never know. Today she might not feel very confident about it. If she doesn't, we'll tackle that as it happens. So pretty similar to with the hands. I'm just going to use the stick to see if she's happy for it to touch all the parts of her body. And again, she's more worried about the grass. Touch it everywhere. And we can repeat a similar exercise with the string that we did with the rope. Can I throw the string over her back, around her legs, on either side, over her neck, whoop, and her main body. And again, just doing it gently, so it's more like a horse's tail. So this is where it gets a little bit more difficult and more of a test for her. I'm now going to take the stick and string and do like a helicopter above her head, so it makes a whizzing sound. So some horses can find this quite challenging. Let's give it a go with JJ and see how she feels. And gently bring it down. She did really well then. She paid attention to it, but she didn't react too badly. Another challenging thing we can do is to tap the string on the floor. Now, I don't recommend you doing as strong as I'm about to do if your horse hasn't tried this before, but it's another good test of confidence with this part of the equipment. Let me just get her back into position a bit. So I'll just settle her again. There we are. And then I make sound on the floor, and we can get really quite strong. And I should be able to do this both sides. Good girl. There we are. So she was alert to that, but not worried. There was a bit of a jogger ran past. She was more worried about the jogger than the string. I should also be able to do this eventually, even around near her back end. So she's mistaken that a bit for me asking for her to turn it. So this is interesting. So what I'm going to do is reduce the intensity of the string. Just do a little slap instead. And I need to be trying careful with my body language that I'm not accidentally putting pressure on her back end with my body language as well. Good girl. So try and increase it again. Keeping gentle with my body. There we are. So she managed to read it that time that I wasn't asking her to move away from me or turn. I just wanted her to relax with it. Very good, JJ. So for now, I'm quite happy that she can do close range contact with my hand everywhere. She's happy for the rope to be thrown over her body. She's very happy with a foreign object like a stick. And even if it has a string attached to her and the string's making funny, horrible noises around her, she's very confident with that. So we're going to move on to some more tasks now and test a few more details. So as you can see on the fence over there, I've hung up a bit of carpet from out the barn that's just usually used as a bit of a rug on the floor. She's not met that before. It's not near her stable and it is a bit scary. You can see it's flapping about in the wind a little bit. So I'm going to take her over there and encourage her to sniff it with her nose to get confidence on her nose, because that's the first place. When a horse is not confident, they investigate things with their noses and their mouths. So I shall use the stick and rope to help guide where I want her to go, but I'll point her roughly in that direction, but it's up to her to be able to touch that and investigate it. I'm hoping she's feeling quite curious today. Come on, Gigi. Come on. Come on. Over. Again, more interested in the grass. Come on. Come on. There we are. She's sniffing it, she's very good with it, and it's flapping about and she's not bothered. Well done, JJ. I'm going to give her a little treat for that. So that was a new object I wasn't sure how she'd react to. It was quite a simple task, just touch it with her nose, but she did very well at that. Let's move on to another task. So here we have a different kind of confidence issue. I've got two sets of barriers and I'm going to want her to walk through the middle. First of all, I shall lead her so that she has the confidence of me being there, and then I will try and send her through on her own to see how she feels about that. Now, she doesn't have to touch anything here, so it's more to do with claustrophobia, and things like this are actually really good practice for trailer loading, where they're going to be surrounded on all their sides by an object. So let's see how she goes. First of all, we'll just lead her through. And JJ, good girl. So she's walking with me just normal and confidently at the moment. Let's see if she'll come through with me. So she sped up just a really tiny piece there. So we're going to try it again and watch if you notice if she does it again. She is trying to eat the grass on the floor though. Come on, JJ. There we are. Not too bad. Pretty good, really. You can see she just speeds up a tad in front of me. So when we go in, she's slightly behind me, and by the time we come out, she's slightly in front of me. So there is a little bit of unconfidence there, but I think it's not enough to worry about today. I'm going to try and send her through on her own though, just to see how she copes with that. Let's try. Come on, JJ. Good girl, go around. So I'm asking her to enter the channel on her own, and she actually seems a bit more relaxed than when I did it with her. It might be because my body is causing it to be more claustrophobic than when she does it on her own. I'm going to turn around and see if she can do it the other way as well. Good girl. Go around. Walk on. Good girl. Eating the grass, but also she might be getting a bit of confidence to go through. So sometimes it's important to let them stop rather than just force them through. If she was to have too much of a problem here or seem to be worried about going forward, I would ask her to back out away and then try and reapproach it again. It's always important that if a horse is unconfident, to back away from something and reapproach the issue. Come on. Good girl. We'll try it again, see if it was about unconfidence or if it was more about the grass. So she's moving forward quite freely here. And she's quite happy to stop in it and eat the grass the other end. So I think it was just a lovely piece of grass at the start there that was more bothering her. She's doing really well today. She's not been upset by anything we've done so far. So let's go try something else. So this next task is a little bit like combining the last two tasks that we did with the carpet and the squeeze through the bollards. In a way, it's still a squeeze because she's going to have to go over something. So remember, when they're in a trailer, they're having claustrophobia from both sides, top, bottom, the front and the back. So this one's going to be like a bit claustrophobic from the bottom. She has to be worried about going over something. And I'm also going to ask her to touch it like we did with the carpet. So, but this time I'm going to ask her to be a bit brave, because remember I said that the first thing they see when they're curious is they touch things with their mouth or their nose to investigate it. Well, when they're feeling a bit more brave, they can move on to touching it with their feet. So this one, she's going to have to touch with her feet, and we'll see how brave she is. Can she only get 1 foot on? Can she get no feet on? Will she stand on it with all 4 feet? Does she rush over it if she gets on? Is she happy to stand there for a bit? So all of this we can help you see how confident she's feeling today. I shall lead around and we'll see how she does. Come, JJ, walk on. Good girl. So I present her at the pedestal. Good girl. She's on with 2 feet, so I'm going to give her a treat because she did well. Very brave. Straight on there then, no hesitation. 4 feet on. And just the back too, so that's an interesting combination. And she's getting her own treat on the floor there. Now, I'm not sure if she wasn't brave enough to stand on with 4 feet, or she was just feeling like uncomfortable and wanted to move off. So we'll try it again, but I would think she was feeling brave enough because the back feet need quite a lot of protecting mentally as well. So she wouldn't necessarily leave her back feet on if she was feeling uncomfortable about the situation. Good girl. Walk on. Let's try again. Maybe we'll try it from the other way. Good girl. Good girl. Back feet. Good girl. Good girl. Well done, JJ. And she's quite happy to stay there. So I'm very happy with that. She's feeling confident to be on something. Look how narrow her feet were together. That was quite difficult for her. And also she was happy to keep her feet there. I think it was more from physical uncomfortable that she took her back legs off rather than that she was worried about anything. So let's go try another task. So in some ways, this is a similar task to the pedestal. I'm going to ask her to be confident enough to go over something for me. But this time, obviously, I prefer she didn't touch it with her feet. Doesn't really matter if she does or if she steps slowly rather than jumps. But we'll see how she copes with this obstacle. She has done a jump before, so we'll see how she feels today. Again, if she didn't feel comfortable or stopped, I would either circle her away or back her away and reapproach the situation again. Now, I could go with her on this, but I'm not feeling that energetic today, so I'm going to send her on her own. Let's have a go. Come on, JJ. Good girl. Give her a bit of space to work up to it. Come on, good girl. Yep. Good girl. Come, come. Good girl. Good girl. Oh, that was really energetic. Well done, JJ. I wasn't really expecting her to jump that much when she just walked up to it. I think she put a lot of effort into that, so I'm going to give her another treat. JJ, would you like a treat? Good girl. So what else can we do? I'm just popping in at this moment because the next piece of footage I filmed on my Pivo, and for some reason my mic stopped working, so you can't hear anything I'm saying. So I am going to show you the footage. I'll do a voiceover on top, but I can't refilm it because it was her reaction to a brand new object she'd never met before. So obviously if she meets the object again, the reaction is going to be different. I also want you to see the object now. It's a hula hoop, and the reason I want to see you see it now is because it actually has a really strange sound. I'm hoping you can hear that. It sounds a little bit like a snake. So when I'm actually moving it around by her, it is making very strange sounds. So this is why she has a bit more of a reaction in the video. It's not just the object, it is making sounds as well. And you will see me tap it on the floor at points as well to make more of a sound. So hopefully that will give you an idea what's going on. So let's get back to the video and continue. So I decided that the most sensible thing to do at this stage was to send her to the object on the floor to let her investigate it herself in her own time. And you can see that at this moment she's not too bothered by it. She just thinks it's another object on the floor, nothing new to worry about. I then send her forward a bit more to put her feet in and around it to see how she'd feel about that, if there was any change. And so far there's not, but as she moves forward a bit more, she does catch the hula hoop with her back foot, and she's a little bit concerned, so she steps out a bit quick and comes behind me. I then lead her round, and I'm going to pick up the hula hoop so that she can see it makes a sound. I let her investigate it one more time. And when I pick it up, I move it a little bit and she notices the sound. It does sound a lot like a snake, so she's a little bit alarmed by it straight away and moves away. I'm very lucky with her. This is about as spooky as she gets for things like this though. I try to make her more confident by walking away from her. It does help to build up the confidence by following an object. So I just slowly take it around and let her come closer and closer. She's doing well. You can see the majority of the time the lead rope behind me is quite loose and she's following mostly of her own accord. So I stop and let her have a sniff. She seems to be a bit more settled with it now. Another sniff from her. That's brilliant. I then shake it again, and we see she's still a little bit alarmed by it. So I decide to ask her to follow it again, but this time I'm going to have the object between me and her so that she's more exposed to it. She tries to ignore it and walk past it, so I move off again. I'm looking at her reactions. I'm trying to see when she's genuinely calm. She stops a little, so I apply a light pressure onto the rope and see if she'll come towards it, and she does. I reward her by stopping the sound and letting her sniff it. She's doing very well. Her reactions aren't very extreme at all. Still slightly alarmed, you can see. So I'm still asking her to follow it. It's not really a terrible reaction to a new object at all, and it's to be expected. She's dealing with it very well. It's important we take these steps very small and let her to take the time that she needs to acclimatise to it. Now I'm going to start to approach her with it. I haven't touched it yet, but you can see she got tense, so I move away again and retreat away from her. After a second or two, I reapproach, and you can see she didn't move her body weight that time, so she was a bit better. So on the third attempt, I'm actually going to touch her now, and I start to stroke her at the shoulder area, close to the withers. What I'm aiming to do here is kind of an approach and retreat, so I will stroke her in different areas, and then if she's okay with that, I might progress, or I may retreat back away from her or to a previous area. I'm also stroking her on both sides with the hula hoop. It's really important to do both sides of the horse because they actually see things differently through different eyes, and they remember it differently. So if I'd only ever stroked her on the right hand side for her whole life with something, then she would be very alarmed with it. If I then stroked her on the left hand side, she wouldn't recognise it at all. They literally think completely differently from side to side. She did really well with that, so I'm going to try and progress it a little bit further. So I'm now stroking in the middle of her section. And I'm watching all her reactions. She does look away a little bit, but she's generally quite calm. She's licking and chewing and blinking. Here we try and be a little bit braver still, and I'm working a little bit further back and onto the legs a bit more. So now she's quite good. We're going to give her a good rub all over and just see how she felt about it. She's so not bothered now that she's deciding to eat. I now move to banging the object on the floor. If you remember from the video before, it's really quite a loud, unusual sound. I start at the front of her and see how she reacts. I then hope to progress to move further back behind her. She's doing very well at the front. I come a little bit more in line with her shoulders. She's wanting to touch the object again. And as I go around to the side, she moves away a bit. At first I thought she might be alarmed by the object, and then I realised that she's probably just misread my body language. I probably put a bit too much energy towards her rear end, and she thought that I asked her to move. Because if you saw, she was really quite calm at that moment. She didn't seem alarmed like she had done previously. So now I'm building it back up again, treating her when she does well, and I'm trying to be more conscious that I'm not putting such a harsh body language in. I'm trying to remain more relaxed and not directed towards her. Trying a variety of things, stroking it on her, shaking it in the air and tapping it on the floor. And again, we work on both sides. Very important that. And here you can see I'm quite far behind her, even behind the tail line. And if she was quite alarmed, anything that far back would be prone to making her dart forward. I'm really quite proud of her here. She's taken all the different things I can throw at her. I can stroke her, I'm shaking it in the air, and I'm banging it on the floor, and she's doing really, really well. This is a brand new object. She's never met it before. Well done, JJ. You did really well. As promised, let's go have a look at Comanche's Level 3 Parelli auditions. There are 3 sections to the Level 3 auditions. The first is online, which is done with a very long lead rope. The second is called Liberty, which is done with no lead ropes attached at all. And the third is Freestyle, which is a ridden exam. Now this ridden exam you can do with or without tack, but if you do use the tack, you shouldn't be using it to support the direction of the horse. So I hope you enjoy this little clip of his auditions.
This is as good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, tomorrow. There's no time morning has a clearer light as any, to see the horizon in the far. Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face, all that ever was is a race. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day to tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Gotta give. Today is a good day. Today is a good day. Today is a good day to live.
So I'm super proud of how JJ did today. She really deserves that role she's having now. I feel she did really well with all the confidence tasks that I threw at her. It makes her a really brave girl. I'm so proud. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again next time. Bye!